Victim compensation fund is so important. First responders, their families, and people near the World Trade Center site entitled to benefits through the year 2090. Among them, a former NYPD officer. Not only was he exposed to toxic fumes during the terror attacks, but he also fell victim to a corrupt lawyer accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from that very compensation fund. Tonight, Angie Gonzalez is live outside of the World Trade Center with the story. Angie.
Hey, Cheryl, when John Ferreira was working down here as an NYPD officer back in 2001, he knew things would be hard. He also knew he had a hard road ahead of him when he was diagnosed with cancer. He just never expected that the next piece of bad news in his life would actually be caused by someone who he considered a friend. John Ferreira and his wife Lisa finally have some peace of mind. The man they knew for more than 20 years and thought was a friend is now starting a 51-month prison sentence for cheating them out of nearly $1 million.
Based on what he had put us through, a big part of it is I'm happy that he's going to jail, if happy is the right word. The original settlement, that was going to be life-changing.
The settlement Ferreira is referring to was what he was awarded from the 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund. During his 20-year career with the NYPD, he, like many others, spent months in Lower Manhattan following the 2001 terror attacks. Years later, he would be diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and only then decided he should apply to the fund to ensure that his wife and 2 daughters would be taken care of.
I thought I was on my deathbed. And so I had started the process. I did the application online. And then when I wasn't sure what was going to happen. It was right around the time my stem cell transplant began. So that's when I had reached out.
He reached out to his former NYPD colleague, Gustavo, or Gus, Villa. Ferreira knew his friend had become an attorney and might be able to help him file the claim as he fought for his life. What Ferreira didn't know was that Villa had been disbarred a year earlier after being convicted of stealing funds from another client.
I went to my computer, I Googled his name, and then, slash disbarment, and there it was.
Problem was that Ferreira didn't learn this about his friend until early 2020. By then, Villa had filed a claim on behalf of Ferreira to the Victims Compensation Fund. Ferreira was awarded just over $1 million. Villa gave Ferreira about $100,000 of that and kept the rest for himself.
As a lawyer who has practiced for 40 years, I have never seen this kind of betrayal before.
He stole our dreams, really.
Fortunately, Ferreira is now in good health and has been in remission for several years. But his attorney is skeptical that Villa will ever be able to pay Ferreira the $800,000 he was ordered to pay in restitution. With that in mind, his attorney, Michael Barish, worked with other attorneys to come up with a fund to help Ferreira and his family.
The Lawyers Fund gave John $400,000 to make up for his over $900,000 loss.
And Cheryl Barish himself, the attorney in this case, he actually represented the victim in this case pro bono. So another good thing coming out of this, but certainly not the amount of money that he was expecting to get from the Victim Compensation Fund. Cheryl?
Angie Gonzalez reporting live for us tonight in Lower Manhattan.